and TV news. I'm Connie Margarita.
And I'm Kristen Nimzik.
And this is all the news you need to know. In the wake of the Virginia Tech shootings, many are looking at gun laws for the answer as to how Cho Sung-hui bought his first gun, a Glock 9mm handgun, on March 13th, and his second weapon, a .22 caliber semi-automatic handgun, within the last week. Both guns were bought in Virginia. The Glock can hold anywhere from 14 to 33 rounds. Virginia laws are surprisingly lax in terms of gun control. There is no waiting period on gun sales. Safety training is not required for buyers. There are no limitations on assault weapons and magazines. Handguns do not have to be ballistic fingerprinted prior to sale in order to make identification easier, among many of the other laws making it easier to misuse guns in the state of Virginia.
Another serious concern is how to make campuses safer. It is hard to find a sense of moderation between the minimal amount of security and absolute lockdown all the time. A 2002 study by the U.S. Secret Service and the U.S. Department of Education studied case files and other primary sources for 37 attacks by current or former students and have also interviewed 10 of the perpetrators and came to this disturbing conclusion. There is no profile for any school shooter. Any attempt at a profile will cut too many attackers out and fit too many innocent people. This means there is no easy way to protect against potential threats. So what can schools do?
Hundreds of American schools have added tighter security since 1999's attack at Colorado's Columbine High School, including metal detectors, threat evaluation software, and police officers. But these solutions are not likely to be effective and are potentially harmful, according to federal researchers who conducted the study. A much more effective approach is to encourage students to report what they hear and to have an adult they can confide in, because attackers often disclose their plans to other students, but rarely to adults. Also, watch for behaviors such as gathering weapons or making plans, because attackers rarely just snap in a spur-of-the-moment attack.
Before Monday, the deadliest mass shooting in the United States occurred in 1991, when George Henner drove a pickup truck into Killeen, Texas cafeteria and fatally shot 23 people before shooting and killing himself. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and those all affected at Virginia Tech.
In other news, Sudan accepted UN attack helicopters and 3,000 peacekeepers into Darfur, marking the first time any peacekeeping forces have been allowed into the war-torn region. The United States had threatened to impose sanctions on the country if Sudan had not accepted one of the UN deals. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State John Negroponte promised international isolation for the region and said on Monday that currently a force of 7,000 African Union peacekeepers has been unable to impose stability or stop the fighting in a region the relative size of Texas. About 2.5 million people have been driven from their homes in Darfur and are living in poorly protected camps in the province and eastern Chad.
The death toll from flash floods in southern Thailand has raised to 37, officials announced. More than 300 rescue workers from government agencies and private foundations continue to search for bodies near two mountainside waterfalls, where hundreds of people came to vacation and view the natural beauty. The areas at the bases of the waterfall's cascades serve as recreational parks, popular with the low-cost vacationers who can splash around the normally shallow, rocky streams in the cooling shade of the forest. The weekend of the disaster, Thailand was celebrating its New Year, so the area was even more crowded than usual. The Disaster Prevention Control said the flood was triggered by 3 consecutive days of rain that raced down the steep Bantan mountain range.
Prize winners were announced by the members of the board on the 16th. The Wall Street Journal received the most with 2 in public service and international reporting. In journalism, there are 11 awards for writing, 1 for cartooning, and 2 for photography. This year's winner in photography was Oded Baladi for capturing a lone Jewish settler challenging Israeli security officers during clashes that erupted as authorities cleared the West Bank settlement of Amona, east of the Palestinian town of Ramallah, on the 1st of February 2006. Thousands of troops in riot gear and on horseback clashed with hundreds of stone-throwing Jewish settlers holed up in this illegal West Bank outpost after Israel's Supreme Court cleared the way of demolition of 9 homes at the site. There are also 6 awards for literature, drama, and poetry. This year's fiction winner was The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Sound Grammar by Ornette Coleman won the only award for music.
Senator Hillary Clinton has raised less money so far in the race for the Democratic presidential nomination than her chief opponent, Senator Barack Obama, but she still has the largest cash reserves of any White House hopeful, according to campaign finance reports filed Sunday. Clinton raised $19 million from contributors in the first 3 months of the year, specifically for her nomination bid, compared to $24.8 million for Obama. Overall, however, the New York senator actually brought in a record amount for this point in a presidential race, $36 million. The size of Clinton's war chest can be attributed to her campaign's relatively tame level of spending. The Clinton campaign spent $5.1 million, or roughly 17.5% of the primary money it raised in the first quarter of the year, a percentage referred to in the campaign finance circles as burn rate.
Clinton posted the lowest burn rate of all the Democratic and Republican presidential frontrunners. Obama and Edwards each spent about a quarter of the money they raised from January through March. Clinton's record-setting war chest was also aided by contributions from many celebrities, who have begun to choose their favorite candidate for the 2008 election. Hugh Hefner, the founder of the Playboy Enterprises empire, contributed $2,300, the maximum allowed in the primary, to Clinton's campaign on March 28th, identifying his occupation on the fundraising form as editor-in-chief of Playboy magazine. Other Clinton backers include Chevy Chase, Jerry Springer, and Barbra Streisand.
And now a word from the companies we wish were our sponsors.